I'm going to just let the youth answer some questions and kind of give their insights on kind of what they're going through, kind of how this generation works, and kind of just give you some insights on their mind as we're trying to figure out so much with Generation X and Gen Z, and kind of figuring out how we can serve them best and kind of reach them for the gospel. So I just want to start off by asking, what place does a church play in your life? And as you answer that, just introduce yourself, give them your age and your grade and your name.
I'm Riley. I'm 17 and I'm a senior in high school. The church is definitely a huge part of my life. I always look forward to coming here every Wednesday and Sunday. And since I've been coming here, I've made a lot of new Christian friends, and I think that's super important since I go to school and there's not many Christians there. I also think our church does a really good job of including everyone. There's a youth group, a young adults group, connect groups for adults, and there's always various activities for everyone to participate in, so I love that. I would say now I enjoy and look forward to coming to church, whereas a couple years ago I probably wouldn't have said that, so I think my faith has definitely grown since coming here.
Okay, my name is Addie Melnick. I'm in 11th grade, and so same question?
Same question, yeah.
Okay, so I would say the church has always been kind of like a second home for me, mostly because of how often I go, and just the consistency of knowing even if I had a bad week, a good week, school's in, school's out, I always go to church Wednesday and Sunday twice a week. And I think that the reason the church feels like a second home to me is not necessarily when I went because I wanted to, but going even when I didn't feel like it, or I was in a bad mood, or I was bitter about something. Going even when I didn't want to was when I met my closest friends and mentors that I can talk to and get advice from.
Yeah, I think so many of us, and including myself, I'm going to include myself in this. I think so many of us think about the younger generation, and we're so worried about how we reach them for the gospel. We're so worried about how we get into the schools. We're so worried about so many things and so many sinful things that they can get into, but we're not worried about there are kids that can reach our students. And there are students that are leaders in our youth group and leaders in our church, and they can lead adults and they can lead their peers next to them. And I think it's so important for us to understand that the youth can reach their school, that we don't need to go into their schools. I know we can pray for their schools, we can step into their schools, we can walk alongside their schools, but there are so many schools that won't even allow pastors to walk into the building. I know for a fact that I can't walk into any school building in this surrounding area. I physically, as a pastor, cannot go into. But there are so many of our students that are willing to go into our schools and call the church their home. And call their church their home and say, you know what, I love Jesus so much, I'm going to call this my home and make my home a separate home at school as well. And so I think for so many of us, we can walk alongside these students rather than pressuring these students into, hey, all of your friends are doing this. I know all of your friends are doing this, so therefore that means if your friends are doing it, our students are doing it. Our kids are doing this. But we don't have to pressure our students into sin. We don't have to pressure our students into understanding that the church is important, because there are so many students here, and you just saw them on the worship team, that understand the importance of church. And I just wanted to start off with that one basic question. And start off with this one basic question as we go into kind of a deeper meaning onto what society and what kind of social media plays into a role of our students.